Good morning. So it's January 25th, 2025. These are the readings that I had for this morning, doing the St. Augustine method of just opening my Bible and coming to any passage that I read for a message for today. I did read 1 Kings 22, 17 through 23, the campaign against Ramoth and Gilead. And that is, it starts out with the story of King Ahab. He's looking for a blessing in order to take over. He wants to expand his empire, so he wants to take over Ramoth and Gilead. You can see the campaign against Ramoth and Gilead. However, he goes to about 20 or 30 prophets, and they all tell him, go ahead, take Ramoth and Gilead. But then Micah, one of the prophets, says, no, don't do it. So here's 17 through 23. So Micah said, I see all Israel scattered on the mountains like sheep without a shepherd. And the Lord saying, these have no master. Let each of them go back home in peace. The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, did I not tell you he prophesies not good but evil about me? So the king really doesn't like this prophet because he's always saying negative things. Micah continued, therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord seated on his throne with the whole host of heaven standing by to his right and to his left. The Lord asked, who will deceive Ahab so that he will go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said this, another that, until one of the spirits came forth and presented himself to the Lord, saying, I will deceive him. The Lord asked how. He answered, I will go forth and become a lying spirit in the mouths of all of his prophets. The Lord replied, you shall succeed in deceiving him. Go forth and do this. So that's the campaign against Ramoth and Gilead. So there's one prophet that's telling Ahab not to go to Ramoth and Gilead, and all the others are saying, go, go, go. So he throws the one prophet, Micah, into prison, and he goes in disguise to Ramoth and Gilead to go ahead and expand his empire. But this is where King Ahab meets his demise. So it's kind of a depressing reading for today. The next one was Exodus 37, 25 through 29, which is just talking about the altar of incense being built for the temple. Lamentations 2, 15 through 17 was the Lord's wrath against Zion. So once again, this is kind of a negative reading. Actually, all the readings today were about pretty down. John 16, John through 17 were all about the sorrowful mysteries. That's what we Catholics call like the moments before prior up to the crucifixion. So this is 15 through 17 of Lamentations 2. All who pass by clap their hands at you. They hiss and wag their heads over daughter Jerusalem. Is this the all-beautiful city, the joy of the whole earth? All your enemies open their mouths against you. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have devoured her. This at last is the day we hoped for. We have lived to see it. The Lord has done as he decreed. He has fulfilled the threat he set forth from days of old. He has destroyed and had no pity, letting the enemy gloat over you and exalting the horn of your foes. So this is talking about Jerusalem as the all-beautiful daughter of God, and that the Lord has decreed that there would be punishment against Jerusalem. So this passage also correlates to the sorrowful mysteries that happens with Jesus, right? So the punishment that would occur, that he would take on for all of humanity. So we look at Hosea 10, which is punishment of idolatry, which seems to be one of the main issues that God has with his people over and over again, is rather than seeking ye first the kingdom of God, that the people are seeking rather than connection with God and closeness with God. They're always seeking out other sources of love and affection within the worldly society. So Hosea 10, punishment of idolatry. Israel is a luxuriant vine whose fruit matches its growth. The more abundant his fruit, the more altars he built, the more productive his land, the more sacred pillars he set up. Their heart is false, now they pay for their guilt. God shall break down their altars and destroy their sacred pillars. If they would say, we have no king, since they do not fear the Lord, what can the king do for them? Nothing but make promises, swear false oaths, and make alliances, while justice grows wild like wormwood in a plowed field. The inhabitants of Samaria fear for the calf of Bethaven. The people mourn for it, and its priests wail over it, because the glory has departed from it. It too shall be carried to Assyria as an offering to the great king. Ephraim shall be taken into captivity. Israel shall be shamed for his schemes. So once again, this is kind of a depressing passage, but it seems to be that the Lord's wrath against Zion has to do with the punishment for idolatry. So, but then you turn to the next reading, which is John 16, 1 through 4. I have told you. And in this passage, it's just a short reading, but it says, chapter 16, I have told you this so that you may not fall away. So God is reminding us of what we need to do not to fall away, and that's not to worship idols, to seek first ye the kingdom of God. I have told you this so that you may not fall away. They will expel you from the synagogues. In fact, the hour is coming when everyone who kills you will think he is offering worship to God. They will do this because they have not known either the Father or me. I have told you this so that when their hour comes, you may remember that I told you. So with Jesus, everyone turned against Jesus, right? He had a lot of betrayers. He had a lot of people that didn't like him. And in John 15, 18 through 27, we see that the world actually hates Jesus. And this happens to a lot of followers of God, a lot of followers of Jesus, that the whole world will turn against you, and you won't even understand why it's going on. So we look at the world's hatred. This is another reading that I read today. If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. If you belonged to the world would love its own. But because you do not belong to the world, and I have chosen you out of the world hates you. Remember the word I spoke to you, no slave is greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. And they will do all these things to you on account of my